Hello, this is Jen at Happy Little Homemaker, and I just wanted to, I've been wanting to share this for a couple of years, and I'm really not taking the time to blog much anymore. Sorry, you'll have to forgive my voice. I've been sick the last couple days, but one of my kids is asleep, and my husband's actually home today, so I have a pocket in which to do this. Anyway, the reason that I'm filming today is that I wanted to show you what my budget binder looks like, and I actually keep mine in a Pro-Click binding. It's like being ring bound, except that you can pop it open and closed so that you can add pages to it, which I find really handy because sometimes I add a bank account or I add a new savings thing and I want to put a new page, or I have to add more checking account pages, so it has like the qualities of a spiral notebook without the things of a 3-ring binder that get in your way, but I can adjust it and change it as I need to. So I actually got that when a Office Max near me closed, and I got it at a steep discount, and I'm so glad I bought it. I use it all the time, and every year I make a new one of these books. Oh, hey, I got more light. Good deal. And so this is my 2017 budget and bill pay binder. It's not quite finished yet because the year's not done, so I haven't transferred over any balances or anything, which actually makes it really ideal to share with you guys because there's no money information in there yet, or at least not much. So the base of my binder, I'm going to come down here, and I'll have to apologize. I'm not a professional vlogger, so I'm freehanding this on my phone because I think it has a better video camera than my iPad seems to. So I use the Clean Mama printables from the Clean Mama Etsy shop. The link will be in the comments below. For the bulk of my pages, all these ones that are like black and teal blue, those all come from her shop and are part of the everyday bill pay and budgeting package, or whatever she calls it. So my first page is primarily a list of all the things that I have to pay and when I have to pay them. This is all my recurring stuff. So my mortgage is in there, and money we give to our church, and health insurance, and my garbagey stuff like the Planner Society subscription. Anything that comes through every month is in here, and my dollar amounts are in this column. And so what I do, well, I'll share that in a minute. So that's where I keep all of that, and I use this every pay period. And then this is my budget worksheet, and it's got all of our expenses, and I kind of broke it out by essentials. So it's got all our house expenses and our car expenses and all of our insurances, and then health care and stuff I have savings goals for, and other recurring things and charitable stuff. I have the dollar amounts, and then I kind of have a declining balance where I take our income and I subtract the mortgage from it, and then I subtract our electric bill from that, and then our gas from that. So at the bottom, I know how much I have left that I can spend on basically everything else, which is gas, food, clothing, any planner stickers, art supplies, that kind of thing that I want to buy that we don't really need. It all has to come out of that bottom line. And I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and it works really well for me to do it that way. This is the recurring expenses sheet from the budget binder that comes from Just a Girl and her blog, and I really like her printables. And this one is not so much for recurring expenses, but things I need to remember to do each month of the year. So I've highlighted what month I need to remember to do them, because I have certain expenses that only get paid once a year, like we pay all of our life insurances annually, and we pay, we make deposits for our godchildren, and we just have general bookkeeping tasks that only happen once a year, and so I still like to have a track of those somehow. So that's what I use her recurring expenses sheet for. The other reason that I love her binder is because it has something that the Clean Mama printables don't have, and that is a way to set financial goals. And I haven't had a chance to sit down with my husband yet and talk about any financial goals, but we are going to set some, because we've just been, and by we I mean me, because I'm the one who does all this. We've just been kind of, it comes in and I spend it, and that's not exactly smart. So we're going to come up with some goals, and then I printed up enough pages to do a year's worth of monthly check-ins, and I will do that every month. Again, this is because I spend all the money. I know where it goes, what I'm sloppy at and what I'm not, so this will kind of help me work on those goals that we decide on. And then I have a section for all sorts of different things. This first section is from my main checking account. And so one of the things that I do in my checking account that has really helped me stay on budget, because we do all cash. We're kind of Dave Ramsey freaks that way, but we don't entirely do an envelope system, because that's really kind of a pain in my butt. We have so many categories and so many things, and just to keep track of cash when most of the stuff we buy is online is just insanity. But what I did decide to do is this. So I write down my paycheck, and then what I do is I come back to this checklist in the very front of the book, and everything that needs to come out of that paycheck gets written down with the dollar amount underneath of it, and I just start subtracting it out. And then I know how much I have left to spend on gas and groceries and clothing and, stuff we don't really need but buy anyway. And so it makes sure that there's always money for the bills, and that I don't spend more money than I have, because we use cash, and if there's no money there, I can't spend it. So that is that. And then we have pages for, I have the tab marked emergency fund, but it's our emergency fund, which thankfully is finally fully funded. And then I also have a large expenses savings account that we started contributing to for anything over and above our emergency fund. If we have extra, we just throw it in there. But this year I'm also getting a little more intentional about this, because we took a bit of a pay cut, but I didn't really change my spending. So I am going to set up a goal to pay ourselves on purpose, and not just spend all that money on, makeup and planner stickers and whatever else, which is usually what I buy. My next tab is for our savings account, and again, we just track that. This is a list of stuff that I will need for later. And then I have, this is kind of how we do the envelope system virtually. This is where we do our saving for stuff that we pay once a year. So under the insurance tab, I have my life insurance, and we have, I have my life insurance, and we've got our disability policy and our other life insurance policy, and so I put a certain amount away every month, and that goes here. And then I track it, and when I go to pay it, I pull it back out, and then I, pay the bill. And so I do that with all of our insurance policies. I also do that with our car repairs, because we don't buy new cars, but we have 4 junkers that always require work. I guess they're not junkers. One is an office car. We each have a minivan, and then there's like a spare in case one is in the garage, which is actually quite frequently, because they're all mostly old cars. And I don't mind driving old cars, because it's a lot easier to pay for repairs than it is to cough up $10,000 to $20,000, because like I said, we do cash. So we have an auto repair fund, and we save, a chunk of money every month to pay for car repairs, and we've never exceeded how much we save. So we also do it for the registration of all of our cars. As you can see, they're not new. We've got an 01 and an 06, and I think we have another 01. I think the 06 might be the newest. And then we've got the kids' bank account. So I've got a bank account for each of my children and both of my godchildren. I have a separate checking account for our homeschool and holiday expenses. So that's things like books books, co-op classes, swim lessons, birthday presents, Christmas presents, holiday decorations, all that kind of stuff comes out of the school and holiday account, which is its own separate credit card, debit card, what have you. And so, like with everything else, if there's no money in there, I can't buy it. So we put a chunk of money into that every month. And then we also have an HSA because we have a high deductible health insurance plan. And so every month we put enough money in there to max out whatever's federally allowed to be deducted. And then we just, pay our health insurance, pay our healthcare expenses out of that, our dental and our eye and, chiropractor and all that other fun stuff, because our insurance company never pays for any of that. And then at the very end, I have a password log, which is really, I don't necessarily need it. I used to, especially after a lot of my accounts got hacked and I had to keep changing my passwords. But it's also really handy to have around in case anything were to happen to me. Al knows all of our banks and the usernames and the passwords for all of them. They are coded, but since he knows what my main passwords are, and these are all just variations of them, he can look and see where they're different because I've marked that. And so that's the last page in my budget book. So that is how we do all of our bookkeeping. It's kind of odd that, with all the technology that we do better in paper, but I'm one of those people who, if I don't write it, it doesn't happen. And I spent just as much time doing it on a computer as I did on this. And when I'm doing this, the kids can see that I'm not, playing Angry Birds or something on my computer. Like, they can see that I'm actually doing something, and they can tell what I'm doing. And so I like it for that reason also, that it doesn't look like I'm just playing on my computer, but that I'm actually doing some work. And there's an obvious difference there, right? That I'm not just horsing around versus actually working. And I found that, both on applications and in other methods, that really the best way for me to stay on top of using a cash basis is to put in my paycheck, take out all the expenses that are coming out of that paycheck first, and then I see what I have left to buy everything else I need to buy this month. And so that makes it really easy for me to stick to my budget and not, get ready to go pay them, and the mortgage payment doesn't bounce because I wasn't thinking ahead and leaving enough in there. If I just take it off the top, then I don't even know it's there. And that is really the most mind-blowing part of this book, the thing that makes it work so well for me. I'm also really, really looking forward to being able to set the financial goals and to have a monthly check-in. Those are both new for me this year. I haven't done those before. And again, these are from justagirlandherblog.com, and I will leave a link to those in the comments too. And so that's how we keep all of our money and business, and, well, not our business, but all of our financial life intact on the Dave Ramsey system, using envelopes, but not real envelopes. But his philosophy without actually having to use cash, because I can't buy stuff from Amazon with cash. And so that whole taking cash out of the bank and then putting it in my grocery envelopes and stuff is just completely unmanageable for me. So that's how I've done that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. And I will leave links for both of these materials and also for the ProClick supplies in the description. So if you're interested in finding out more about how awesome this little ring system that you can open and close is, it will change your life, honestly. I love this thing. Anyway, so I hope this helped. If you need anything, if you have any questions or have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.